Did you know you can start sculpting a six-pack and slim your waist with just a 10-minute home workout routine? The abdominal area is made up of 4 main muscles that work together to give you strength, stability, and of course, that defined look everyone's after. The most famous one is the rectus abdominis, the muscle that creates the iconic six-pack with fibers running vertically. Next to it are the external obliques, and hidden underneath are the internal obliques, both with fibers running diagonally, helping you rotate your torso. And there's an even deeper muscle, the transverse abdominis, acting like a natural belt, protecting and supporting your core. When you do exercises like crunches, you mainly activate the rectus abdominis. But when you twist your body, the obliques take the lead, thanks to their diagonal fiber direction. Once you understand the direction your muscle fibers run, you also understand the movements they create, and what they can do for your body when they're tighter and stronger. Take the rectus abdominis, for example. When it's well-toned, it pulls the front of your stomach inward. This muscle starts at the sternum, that central bone in your chest near the ribs, and attaches all the way down at the pubic bone. Since the fibers run vertically, if the rectus abdominis is too relaxed, your belly will look more relaxed and push forward. But if it's tight, your stomach will look flatter or even slightly pulled inward. Strengthening this muscle is your first big step toward a flat stomach. Now, the transverse abdominis is a bit different. It's a deep muscle you can't actually see. Its fibers run horizontally, like tight lines pulling everything inward. It wraps around your waist like a corset, and that's no coincidence. Strengthening the transverse abdominis is a major key if you want more control over your core and a smaller waistline. Think about those waist trainers sold everywhere. Their job is to compress your belly and make your waist smaller. That's exactly what a strong transverse abdominis does, naturally. The firmer and tighter it is, the more it shapes your waist from the inside out. All you have to do is strengthen it. So, how do you actually target such a deep muscle? Let's start on the floor with exercises for the rectus abdominis. If you just rush through crunches without thinking, you might end up engaging your obliques too much, and that's not what we want here. If you overtrain your obliques, you'll definitely develop your abs, but you might also build up too much volume on the sides of your waist. And depending on your body type, a wider waist might not give you the aesthetic you're aiming for. Here's a tip. If your goal is a slimmer waist, avoid overdeveloping your obliques. Even a little extra fat around the belly can end up sitting on the sides and make your waist look thicker. Now, how do you make sure your ab exercises hit the middle without bulking up the sides? Focus on curling your body, because the rectus abdominis is responsible for spinal flexion. But there's a technique to make it more effective. First, keep your head in a neutral position. You can place your hands behind your head to support it and take pressure off your neck. But make sure you keep the distance between your chin and chest the same throughout the movement. If your head moves, you'll engage your neck instead of your abs. You can either hold your head lightly or keep your hands by your sides. But always think about rolling up and rolling down slowly and with control. I've just shown you a powerful move to work your rectus abdominis and avoid overworking your obliques. But next, we're going to dive into exercises for the transverse abdominis, starting with the famous stomach vacuum exercise. Before that, let's optimize the previous crunch movement to also engage your transverse abdominis a bit more. Here's how. As you crunch up, completely exhale. Empty your lungs as much as possible. This creates more space in your core and allows you to pull your abdominal wall inward when you come back down, making the movement bigger and deeper. And here's the cool part. You naturally activate your transverse abdominis more. One important detail, if you lie completely flat, your abs will be relaxed. So the idea is to start lifting your torso and only begin the exercise when you feel tension in your abs. That's your starting point. From there, you move up. And when you come down, you stop at the point where tension is still present. Always keep your core engaged to maximize your results. You might be wondering if the movement gets too short doing it this way. And yes, it does get shorter. That's actually the nature of this exercise. It's a shorter movement. The goal here is to create tension in the muscles, not necessarily to make them bigger. Whatever growth happens will just be enough to leave them toned and defined. We've just learned another important detail about performing this exercise. I'll teach you all these points and then organize them into a sequence you can use daily. The main goal of this video is for you to learn all the exercises involved in the process of achieving a flat, defined stomach. Now, let's move on to the front plank. Imagine the weight of all your internal organs. When you get into a front plank position, facing downward, the natural tendency is for that weight to make your belly sag. And that's exactly where the transverse abdominis steps in. The rectus abdominis will also work, but here, we want to focus on the transverse abdominis. It's the one responsible for holding your belly and body weight up. You'll lie face down, support yourself on your forearms, bring your feet together, and lift your body off the ground. What often happens? The hips rise too high. Why? Because the weight shifts onto the spine and vertebrae, which is not what we want. Pay close attention to your hip height. It should stay in line with your torso. Your knees can stay slightly bent. Once you can perform this consistently for a few days or weeks, you'll notice much better control over your core. Now let's talk about the famous vacuum exercise. We've already worked the rectus abdominis with the first exercise, the transverse abdominis with the plank, and now it's time for the vacuum. At first, you'll do the vacuum lying down. It's easier to learn this way. Thanks to gravity, your internal organs will naturally settle down. The idea behind the vacuum is to push out as much air from your lungs as possible, leaving them deflated like a balloon. In this process, the transverse abdominis contracts, helping to pull your stomach inward and giving you that flat belly appearance. Pull your belly in as much as you can. First, inhale, then exhale all the air, and finally perform the vacuum. To make it easier to visualize, imagine trying to touch your belly button to your spine. In the beginning, it might feel tricky, but keep trying. You'll soon figure out how to really pull your abs inward. The goal is to exhale, suck in your stomach, and hold that position for as long as possible to maximize the vacuum's benefits. Important tip: if you feel unwell while holding your breath, stop immediately and don't push yourself too far. Now, changing the body position completely. If you try doing the vacuum standing upright, all your internal organs will be pushing against gravity. That's the most challenging way to do it. But I'll show you an intermediate version first. You can do it with your body slightly tilted forward. The idea remains the same. Exhale completely, then pull your abs inward. In this position, the pressure from your organs is somewhat reduced compared to standing upright. After you've mastered the lying down version, move to this intermediate one to keep progressing towards a flat, controlled stomach. Instead of placing your hands on your thighs, support yourself with your forearms. It makes the exercise a bit tougher because your body's more inclined. And you'll notice it's harder to suck in your stomach compared to lying down. As I mentioned, lying down, gravity helps you out. Here's an important tip. If you've eaten and your stomach is full, the vacuum exercise won't work properly. So avoid doing it under those conditions. A great time to practice is right after waking up, and for two good reasons. First, your stomach is empty. Second, after lying down for hours, your organs are more compressed, giving your transverse abdominis more room to contract. Of course, not everyone can do it first thing in the morning because of a busy schedule. If that's your case, no problem. Just pick another time of day. But remember, try not to do it right after eating. Now we've finally reached the part where we structure your at-home AB workout. And it'll look like this. First, start with the rectus abdominis. If you're new to this, begin by doing 3 sets, pushing yourself until it feels very hard to continue. No need for a fixed rep count. The idea is to listen to your body, feel when it's really difficult, then stop. Rest for 30 seconds to a minute, then move on to the front plank. Do it 3 times as well, going as long as you can each time. The most important thing is to pay attention to your limits and adjust if necessary. Once you finish these 2 exercises, it's time for the vacuum. Start with at least 3 cycles, beginning with the easiest lying down version. Right here, you have your starting point, a simple but powerful series to improve your abs. You can do it every day. If you manage to fit it into your routine, you'll finish everything in under 10 minutes and complete an amazing at-home core workout. After doing it daily for a week, you can start progressing. add an extra set to each exercise. Instead of 3 rounds, you'll do 4. With the front plank and rectus abdominis exercises, you can progress by adding sets. With the vacuum, you can progress by either increasing how long you hold it, how many cycles you perform, or by changing your body position to make it harder. Ideally, try to increase at least 1 series per week if you're practicing daily. Besides this home routine, it's also highly recommended to include specific ab exercises during your gym workouts. That way, you'll strengthen and grow your abs even more, using extra resistance and intensity. Now that you know the muscles responsible for achieving a flatter stomach and have learned the right exercises to target them, it's time to put everything into practice. Remember, consistency is what turns effort into results. Start with this quick 10-minute-a-day routine and watch as in just a few weeks, your core gets firmer, your waistline slimmer, and your body control goes to a whole new level. If you want to boost your results even more, stick around and subscribe to the channel. I'll be sharing even more fitness tips to turbocharge your evolution, especially in your workouts and your health. See you in the next video.